what's going on YouTube? It's boy Just Almeida here on YouTube and from Beantown Takes. We are back again with another reaction video. The Patriots need to seriously consider moving off of Gerard Mayo. It's a very difficult situation the New England Patriots are in because they just hired Gerard Mayo last year. He's not having the greatest of seasons, but let's be real. At the beginning of the season, did we expect the Patriots to be a playoff team? No. We did not expect them to be a playoff team. We didn't really expect them to do much. If you were to read my article from the beginning of the season for the New England Patriots, actually, let's go on it real quick. If you guys don't know, BeantownTakes.com, links in the description down below for all your coverage of Boston sports. If we go down to this article here for the New England Patriots, if you read it already, then you already know where I'm going to go with this. At the beginning of the season, I predicted the Patriots to not be a playoff team, but as opposed to last year, I saw the Patriots show stints of how they could win in the future. This line right here. The expectations should be for some growth. Despite whether the Patriots win or lose in these games, fans want to see moments that could lead the Patriots back into the right direction in the future. As for this season's record, the Patriots at the best case scenario will be 7-10, but another 4-13 record is the probable finish for this year's team. So, right now, they're kind of in par with what I predicted them to be at the beginning of the season. I think right now, they're not going to get another win the rest of the season. So, in that case, they'll finish 3-14. But regardless, 4-13, 3-14, what's the difference? I'm basically right there. However, with that being said, there will be some key moments that shows growth in this team that the players can build off of next season and the future. Which, I think we saw that for most of the parts of the season. We saw that Drake May had a phenomenal season. We now know that you have a quarterback for the future. You know that you're going to need some wide receiver talent, some offensive line. The defense kind of took a step back this year, but there was many games this season where it was watchable. Last year, they weren't even watchable. This year, however, for like the middle of the season at least, when Drake May stepped onto the field, they were watchable. It was watchable games where they were coming down to the wire and everything else. They actually had somewhat of an offensive game under Drake May. Now you just need to surround him with some weapons and a good offensive line, and you're good to go. Is Gerard Mayo the coach to go forward with in the future? That's a whole different question because there's been a ton of moments this season where Gerard Mayo showed some red flags. And this past Monday, too, pretty much throwing the offensive coordinator under the bus, pretty much exempting himself from any responsibility of why this team is losing whatsoever. That's a huge red flag, in my opinion. Do I think that they need to move off Gerard Mayo? He wouldn't have been my first choice for the head coaching position last season. That would have been Mike Vrabel. And there's rumors coming around saying that Vrabel's interested to be the next New England Patriots head coach if there is an opening for it. If I am the Patriots, I'm all over that. Because right now, it seems like Gerard Mayo might be a big issue here. We're going to react to this video here. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go check out the website. The link is in the description down below. And without further ado, stop straight into the video.
If the Patriots, and by Patriots I mean ownership, had not been considering firing Gerard Mayo, that should have been the moment that everything for them changed. That should have been the moment where they said, "Ah, bleep. He did it again. He stepped in it again, and he screwed up at the podium again. And this time it's actually potentially going to have some issues for us down the road as a result." Because if the reports from over the weekend are true, Diana Rossini reporting that the Patriots are going to give him a lot of runway, that his job was safe, we should all consider it safe, blah, blah, blah. If that's all true, and the team is putting that out there, which I think they were on Saturday, they were putting that out there, by Sunday night, their ideas should have started to change. Gerard Mayo put himself, I think, on the hot seat by saying that on Sunday. That was so...
So what's the quote exactly? I just was like, you said it, because I didn't want to go down the whole rabbit hole trying to explain all those things. What's the exact quote? I might have to rewatch it.
To say that. And once again, Gerard Mayo on Monday did exactly what you could have predicted he would have done. He talked it back and tried to take it back the day after he said something dumb.
Let's walk it back Monday.
Except,
a weekly walk back.
Except this one was
I hope
different.
they play it.
This one's different because it impacts a lot of different people. Number one, it impacts the coaches that are currently here, and that includes the guy he was talking about, which is Alex Van Pelt. That's number one. Even if Alex Van Pelt had no idea, as Gerard Mayo said on Monday morning, I called him to talk about it, and he said, what are you talking about? So Alex Van Pelt is spending time coaching and not paying attention to Gerard Mayo's press conferences, so good for him. The fact that he didn't know about it doesn't make it any better. But Gerard Mayo offered that up as some sort of weird defense on Monday when Alex Van Pelt had yet to be informed of what he had actually said the day before. So
Mayo, when asked about not running May on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, given his running ability, you said it, I didn't. Okay, so basically, they were questioning Gerard Mayo on not letting Drake May run the ball, and he basically threw the offensive coordinator under the bus, saying like, "Oh, he doesn't allow him to do that." Ugh.
That impacts him. He's undermining his offensive coordinator. He's trying to
that's not a
deflect
good
blame for the mess that is his team. And if you are considering making coaching changes on this staff going into next season, which is what those reports on Saturday seem to indicate, right? They're going to tweak the staff, make some changes, but the head coach is safe. How in the world do you expect to hire anybody who's any good at their job after they watch him do that after a game late in the season on Sunday? And they think to themselves, you're a 3-win team last year. You're on the hot seat going into next year. It's already a bad job to go to work for you. And then on top of it, I'm going to have to worry about you going to the podium and throwing me under the bus like you did to Alex Van Pelt, who, oh, by the way, is the best assistant he has on the staff.
Probably having the best year.
He's the best guy on the staff.
He's probably having the best year of any of the coaches.
Yeah. I've been critical of him like I've been critical of everybody else, but you know what I say about him? I mean, I'd be okay if he's the one who doesn't get fired.
Here we go.
Right? But I mean, he's the adult in the room. He's the guy who's been a professional every step of the way. He is the guy that has gone to the podium in every time.
Even though I think there might need to be an offensive coordinator change too, I would agree with that. He's been the best out of the bunch.
I do.
Yeah, you're the coordinator.
Even though Gerard Mayo has said he's head coach offense, he's never acted like that. He has continued to say all the time, I work for coach. What coach wants, he gets. He's the boss.
Right.
He's never tried to undermine the head coach
or
take more control from the head coach.
And Gerard Mayo basically said otherwise. Damn.
He's probably the best and most loyal guy on his staff, and he threw that guy under the bus.
Yeah, damn.
What kind of precedent does that set here?
Not good.
What kind of clown show is this?
Joke show.
That's what it's become. And that comment changed it. That put him in on a different level in terms of the dumb comments that he's made this year. Came at a really bad time after his team pretty much no-showed after their bye week. They didn't show up to play. Great job, Gerard.
I know this all happened post-game, and I turned around and looked at Phil when he asked that too. And it was like that moment in London where the team was called soft.
Right.
It's like stuff that you're just not used to hearing, coming from the head coach because it was done a certain way for 20 years, and we didn't really, that guy controlled it. He didn't really give you anything. And I don't want him to be him. He shouldn't have to be like him. But he needs to be a little bit more guarded because now you're spending 2 days trying to talk about the game where it should have been wrapped, and now you should be focused on Buffalo today.
Yeah,
or
he's not
yesterday,
focused
when
on
when
it,
you do
right.
the morning presser on Zoom with all the beat writers, and now you got to reset and talk about it again. So you're doing it 2 days out of the week when you should really only be doing it one.
I hope you like DeMarcus Covington, because that's going to be the best you can get as your defensive coordinator for next year. I don't know how the hell they would have the ability to hire anybody else who would want to come here, take that job, and work for Gerard Mayo now.
Well, if you're like a Matt Eberflus, why wouldn't you?
Because you want to go somewhere where you have a chance to be employed for more than 5 minutes.
But if they bring you in on a 3-year deal, say, I will come and do it, but I got a 3-year deal fully guaranteed. Like, you could cut him after a year, but you're going to pay me.
I just don't think on the defensive side, too. So if you come here...
I mean? Like, you're not coming and signing a 1-year deal for a coordinator.
Coach that's on the hot seat, coach that could potentially throw you under the bus. And on the defensive side, if we're actually successful, then the head coach is going to get all the credit for what we do on the defensive side.
Yeah, right. Why would you want to go to
from
that?
From Diana Rossini over the weekend, I referenced this. May and Mayo will stick together. While there hasn't been a public vote of confidence for the head coach from the Kraft family, I wonder why. Number one, like, I don't know how you write that and then not acknowledge, like, yeah, there's probably a reason why. Because, you know what? They like to keep their options open, as any team should.
Right.
And the smart teams do. And
I mean,
the smart
Vrabel's
teams poke around and
voice his
always keep their
opinion as to,
options
like,
open.
hey, I'd be
I've only been
interested in
saying
this
that for
job
3
if it's
weeks.
open. Like, you
Patriots
should be
leadership
all
is
over
standing
that.
by Mayo. But again, privately, not publicly, right? In the shadows, they're standing by. Just as discussions about the next NFL hiring cycles heat up, team owner Robert Kraft has privately assured those close to him that he's committed to giving his first-year head coach the time and resources he needs to grow into the role. Resources is, to me, code for help on the coaching staff. We're going to have to make some changes next year. That is my interpretation of that when you say
That's
resources.
ridiculous.
That means you need help. You need some more experience on the staff in some areas. So
they could easily be. They could easily have 5 or 6 wins right now. Easily. If it wasn't for Gerard Mayo and his decision making. You know, I go back to this question all the time. And again, you guys know I hate the what if question. But the decision to start Jacoby Brissett week 1. I understand it, but Drake May is a 3rd overall pick in the draft. Like, and he's now clearly shown that he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. Maybe not Hall of Fame like, but he's going to be great. And that's all you need. We're not going to ask for like something like Tom Brady again. We're not going to ask for an Aaron Rodgers type. No, you just need to be a great quarterback. That's it. And he's shown that he can be a great quarterback in this league. So now I ask the question, what if they started Drake May week 1? What would their record be? I want you guys to comment that in the comment section down below also. And give me, like, what would their record be right now if Drake May started week 1? I say the Patriots would have maybe 6 wins. You win the Seattle game. I think you still win that Cincinnati game. Remember the Dolphins game that we went to? Yeah, you still win that game. Well, I shouldn't say you still win it, but, like, you do win the game because they lost it. That's at least 3 wins there that you should have had. On top of the wins that you already have, that's 6 wins. You should have at least 6 wins right now.
So, I just think, like, you know, when you're now criticizing, even in a quick defensive thing.
Best case scenario is you would have been floating around 500 for the entire year, and that would have been a dub.
You are sinking your own ship, man. You absolutely are. And you are now giving your bosses good reasons to fire you.
Right.
That's what Sunday was. That game and that performance at the podium are now the good quality reasons to fire a guy. And they now have them. And he stepped in it again at the podium. The same way he stepped in it when he talked about Drake May outplaying Jacoby Brissett, and then Jacoby Brissett became the starting quarterback. Or the time he said...
Didn't we just talk about this? We literally just talked about this. It's kind of like Bertrand is like listening to me as I'm talking. Like, if Drake May was outplaying Jacoby Brissett, in the preseason, in training camp, like we saw also. I think that was clear as day when we went. If he was outplaying him, why didn't he start week 1? Why? Why?
And we're going to burn cash, but oh, no, we're not. I didn't really mean it that way. I got ahead of myself. I'm not in charge of the cash. The time that he said we're a soft team, but oh, we're not.
Oh my God! Wow, this is. They have a list of comments that he's made. Okay, overusing the nickname Thunder for Robert Kraft during introductory press conference. Wow. Patriots will burn cash, then walks back comments, calling them a rookie mistake. Says best player will play. Also says May outplayed Brissett, but didn't start May in week 1. Calls Patriots a soft football team after loss to Jacksonville, widely criticized, including by Belichick. Says once those guys cross the white lines, there's nothing I can do for them after 34-15 loss in Miami. You said it, I didn't, when asked why Patriots didn't use May as a runner.
Soft team, I didn't mean it that way.
Wow.
I take it back.
Those are all fireable
the
offenses.
time that he said once they step over the
Actually,
white lines, there's
I'll go as far as saying this. Maybe not the January and April comments, but August, week 7, week 12, week 15, you could put that on a list and say, this is why you're being fired.
I could do for him. Players got to go out and play the game.
You say the best player will play by saying that May has outplayed Brissett in training camp and preseason, but you start Jacoby Brissett week 1.
Seattle time, all of it.
How does that make sense?
What does this guy do well as a head coach? What does he do well? Someone tell me. What does he do well? Is he the great communicator?
Definitely not.
Laughable. Absolutely laughable. Can he coach a defense to the same level it was at a year ago? No. Does he have a lot of input on offense? I don't think so.
No.
What is he doing here? What is the point of this exercise? And give me one thing. I know Mike Reese came in last week with his 3 reasons. Like, the 3 good things Gerard Mayo has done. One of them was week 1 against the Bengals.
Having him ready to go.
Is week 1 against the Bengals a reason to keep him for 2025? No. All the bad stuff is stuff you have to be very
and they were horrible that game too.
Next season, and you really got to ask yourself.
But the Bengals were worse.
14 games. You've got enough of a sample. What the hell do you think the future looks like with this guy as your head coach?
Not good.
What do you think this looks like? How much better would this have to get from year 1 to year 2 to feel like year 2 could be a good year for the team? You're in different universes. What are we talking about? What gives you any hope for the future with this guy? So the team needs to suck it up. They've got to suck it up. They've got to swallow their pride. They've got to make a hard decision. He's got to go, man. He's got to go. This has gotten really bad.
You're there already.
I'm there. This has gotten real. No, I wouldn't do it now. I'd wait till the end of the season. Not tipping over the apple cart now for no reason. Play out the string. Start over again. This has gotten to be a joke. They look like a total clown show now. And I don't think they were there a week ago. But you come out of the bye against the team that you know is probably represents your last best chance to get a win this season.
Right.
And you no-show on the game coming out of the bye.
Right.
And then you do all that crap after the game.
And
you're basically criticizing the OC
right,
while you've
over.
got players in your locker room.
It should be over.
Maybe starting to do the same because that impacts your room and your players as well.
Fact.
The accountability
Players
is trickling down, yes,
yeah,
100%.
It is. Players see that. Players see it. So
this is the time of year, though, where, at the end of last year with Bill, where you start, and, before Bill took this Carolina job, this is sort of the area where you start to contact other teams with your representation as to, are you going to garner any interest? Because you want to know what the market's going to be. Like, there's some head coaches out there floating around. They're going to get gigs this year, but you want to know what are the final 3 teams. I got to start thinking as a family.
Do you think that factors in?
I do.
Oh, podium. He'll be fabulous. Yeah, not so much. It turns out he's not exactly good on the fly like this.
It's not getting better.
No,
it's wild.
It got worse.
Yes.
Much like his team, his podium performances have declined.
Like the last few weeks have not been watchable games. there was a point in time in the middle of the season, like once they went over to Drake May and they made that switch, there was a good chunk of period of time that football was watchable again. Even I was like, okay, yay, Patriots are on. I can't wait to watch them. Can't wait to see what Drake May does this week. Now they're not, again, they're not watchable again. And the reason why they're not watchable again has a lot to do with Gerard Mayo and how he runs the team.
How he went through the timeline of how many of them there are. Because you just think, okay, it's the... Because I forgot about the preseason one where, he's outplayed Jacoby.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God, he's the starter week 1.
And the best guy's going to start.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, it's Jacoby Brissett.
Doesn't make any
What?
sense.
That's always been the plan.
Okay, that was always the plan. All right. He's not good at that.
No.
Nope. Not good at communicating, not good at staying on point and having a consistent message. And then he says things he has to take back on Monday. So there's quite a bit of that going on. Sunday was interesting for the fact that there was this great moment when finally the typically hollow ownership shot paid off. You know how much I hate the ownership shot in sports. I think it's a complete waste of time.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
high-five shot.
I think it doesn't reflect the fans' interest in the game or the sport, and I think it's nothing more than the networks. I was going to say something really dirty there, and I have to remind myself I'm not allowed to say that.
What do you say? Spell it out.
Something off the... No, I was going to say it's
Something that is R-rated.
That to the owners. And because they like to be on TV and they like to be seen and they think they're these like pseudo celebrities and that's what they want to be, and so that's why you're getting shots of owners across the NFL.
I
It's
get what he's
the
saying.
worst in the NFL,
What
and
are
it
you trying to
happens
say?
all the time during Patriot games. When you get this shot, Drake May throws his first touchdown. The Crafts. Well, I really don't think the fans give a damn, but okay. And so finally, that hollow, empty, useless TV shot that CBS loves to take part in paid off in a big way on Sunday, catching the owners being disgusted with the offensive play calling. If that's what it's going to turn into, I'm all for the owner shots. I'm all for them again. Give me more. Put a cam.
Yeah.
Put like the Zocam. We have a Zocam in our booth that they come in and set up during games in case any big exciting moments happen. They have footage. I can actually see it from where we're sitting. Right here.
Up here in the corner.
It's on this little shelf. They should put a Zocam in the booth if we're going to get stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you remember Germany last year when you get so excited when the guy was wide open in the end zone. Ownership, Robin stood up.
That's another good
the big puff jacket.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And back through
I
the
forgot about that.
reception at the 5, and he just hung his head. Like that, but it gave you the emotion of the play. Like, oh my God, finally we got a touchdown. No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
But this was read the lips.
Right.
Offensive play calling.
Clear as day.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it was
I
so
didn't see
obvious.
it. I watched it back after you
Oh,
guys
it's
said
so
it.
good.
It reminded me of the one last year. Remember last year when Bill was here?
Yeah.
And it was something at the end, and it just was
And
one of
John,
those-
whatever.
terrible play calling.
Whatever. And so this is why that's important. What did Jonathan do after all that last year? I'm sorry. What did the Crafts do after all that last year? They fired Bill Belichick. And so now you're seeing owners that are not happy with the coaching on their team. And I know that in that moment it was about the offense. But you can't tell me that those guys are happy with the job performance of their head coach.
Yeah,
It's not
obviously
possible.
not.
They're not happy.
They can't
It's
be.
not possible.
You can't.
No.
You're not taking notes during the game to remind yourself of
wasn't
plays and
that
stuff
was a
like
nice
that
touch.
too.
I love that.
mean,
I love that. I love the notes. How do you think the debrief went yesterday? I would have loved to have been in the debrief yesterday.
Not well.
Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't friendly in the ownership debrief.
Because it was a
I
different.
would have read him the riot act yesterday. That would have been the first time that I felt, as an owner, as the guy who employs you, legitimately pissed off at you.
I didn't even know how to really put a cap on this one coming out. We're wrapping it up at the end of the game. Like the Colts game, I came out of that. I was pissed off 2 weeks ago. I'm like, you effed up. You blew that game. You had 19 play drives shoved right
Yeah,
down
that's
your throat
another
by a
one.
quarterback.
Yeah, that's
Like,
another
that made
one.
You feel terrible. I thought the loss to
They
Miami.
played. They had the lead. What was it? It was a touchdown lead. It was a 7-point lead, something like that, right? With around 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, it was somewhere around there. And they play conservative. They play not to lose. They go 3 and out. They punt the ball. They give the Colts a chance to go down the field. Colts ultimately go, what was it, like 80 yards, something like that, on that drive. Scores a touchdown, then goes for the 2 to win the game. That falls back on the play calling. That falls back on the coaching staff. And that includes Gerard Mayo also.
Against Skylar Thompson, I thought that was the worst loss since the Brady era. Like that felt like rock bottom.
That's when it all turned around.
I just watched the game
That's
with
when,
zero rhythm.
After that game, that's when it started
and
to become a clown show
you're
again.
Coming out of the bye, and I expected that little pop to have some wrinkle, like you had the Marcus Jones wrinkle. That was cool, and that,
nice.
but like your receivers don't give you anything. KB, it had to be a perfect throw and catch for that to happen. And Booty's attitude after the game about the. Well, I mean, I was running full speed.
It was low. Yeah.
There's a safety, Buda Baker, coming down on the other side, ready to cut him in half. And Drake talked about it post-game. I'm trying to take care of him and put it on the back thing because why? Drake learned from the Hunter Henry interception, put it on the back hip for Hunter to help him catch that so he doesn't pop it up. And you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I felt lost coming out of this game Sunday. Like, I didn't have any good feelings. I didn't have any, like, hateful feelings. It's a malaise. You feel like you're becoming part of the malaise. It was a weird game to call. Like, and we're on the road. There's usually great environments, right? It's National Football League. You go to Green Bay, you go to Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Buffalo's going to be nuts this week. You can hear a pin drop in that stadium. It was weird. It almost felt like a preseason game.
Yeah, nobody.
Like
I don't think
preseason
anybody
game
really
number
cares
3.
about football in Arizona.
Not number 1.
That's the
There's
thing.
no excitement to 1 because it's the beginning of football. It was preseason game number 3. Let's get the hell out of here because we got the opener coming in 2 weeks.
So, they know, those owners know that Mike Vrabel's available.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I would watch, and I would be very, very nervous of if I were them, and not ownership, meaning the current staff, because Mike's sitting out there, and you know how they feel about Mike. And I think Josh McDaniels could be talked into coming to be coordinator with Mike.
I'd be all for that.
Gonna pair Mike
Sign me
with
up. Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator again, and Mike Vrabel as the head coach. Yep, sign me up. Yep, I am all for that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yep, I am all for that. Josh McDaniels was the one offensive coordinator post Tom Brady that did a phenomenal job. Sign me up on Josh McDaniels being the offensive coordinator. Sign me up on Mike Vrabel being the head coach. Yep,
Like
I'm
from
on
a GM
board.
standpoint, Mike could have come in here and say, I can work with Elliott and them, or no, I got an idea for this guy. I got my guy. Because that was eventually, he and John Robinson down in Tennessee that ended up not working out. John, I guess, is interviewing for the Giants job. He's probably going to be going there. I think that was reported yesterday. So, something to watch, man, because you got a guy like Vrabel sitting out there. You know that he wouldn't tolerate half the crap that's going on.
Hell
there.
nah.
With like players and comments.
Right,
and that.
exactly.
He'd have a little more of an iron fist. And he's been through it.
Now I'm with you. I'd be all about hiring Mike Vrabel.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm with that. That's what I want. I'm just saying that would make me nervous.
Here's what I would say. If
the team doesn't respond these 3 weeks.
It's not enough. It's not the reason for me, or one of the reasons that he even has to factor in letting Gerard Mayo go. This has been really bad.
Yeah.
You're only going to compound this by letting this happen again next year. This isn't going to be significantly better than what you just got.
Right. I'm just telling you, too.
If you're making a projection about next year based on the decent sample you have now of this team this year, what do you think that's going to look like? And if you're projecting that it gets a lot better, I don't know what you're basing that.
Well,
You've got no evidence to support your projection, and it's junk.
Well, I think they did think that this is going to be somewhat rough this year because everything's new.
So they didn't think it was going to look
No.
like this.
I'm saying that. That's what I'm trying to get to. They're probably thinking we get to 5 to 6 wins, and then we'll eventually get back in year 2 to be relevant again. There's no way Jonathan walks in that stadium yesterday and knows we're a 3-win team walking into this, and your back's against the wall, and you feel good about it.
It's not about the wins and losses, though.
Oh, it is,
It's
though.
the way it's happened. It's the way it's happened.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could
it's
be
the
a
way it's-
3-win
yes,
team that
right.
fights like hell, comes up short, but fights like hell, says the right things, presents the right way, works hard, has a program.
Like if they
has
were
good
a 3,
buy-in.
this is the last time I'm pausing it because we have a few minutes left in this video. If they were let's say the same record as they are right now, but it hasn't looked as ugly as it has been for the last few weeks, nobody would be coming in talking like Bertrand is right now. Nobody would be saying that Gerard Mayo should be fired. No, everybody would be feeling good going into next season. But because of how the last few weeks have gone with his comments and the players not being prepared and it's clear as day, the last few weeks has made fans and analysts and everyone else say, oh shit, what the hell is going on here? Is this a recipe going forward? Like, is this what we should be expecting in the future, next year, the following year? It's not good. It isn't.
And still be a 3-win team. It's happened. It has.
There's no way they like these results.
No, the defense can't get off the field. Can't get off the field on
Can't get
third
off
down.
third down. You couldn't. It was awful. And it's in a game where Gonzalez, I thought, played his best game of the year.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
He was great.
Like other guys
Physical.
couldn't step up. That sucked. Like, it's like a wasted performance. That kid's living in his own world. Now, granted, corners, you're on islands. But, like, he totally negated, just erased Marvin Harrison Jr. And you still got your ass kicked.
That's
You know what I
ridiculous.
mean? Yeah, Matt Wilson goes down, out for the game. Like, they lost 2 guys first drive of the game. We took the ball to open that game, and we were down at the plus 33 in 4 freaking plays. That's moving. Then you had the holding call. And next thing you know, you missed the field goal, and all your momentum's going.
So Keyshawn Booty questioned Drake May after the game, saying that he threw the ball too low. So it's really hard when he threw the ball too low. And also questioned the offensive coordinator after the game. And if you're Gerard Mayo, how do you say to that player to fall in line and stop being a dink? How do you do
When
that?
he's doing the same exact thing.
No. How do you have the ground to stand
I
on
see what you're saying.
to tell the player, what are you doing? How dare you come into your locker room and criticize your quarterback and your offensive coordinator when, number one, you're who you are.
Right.
Number one, right? What do you think? You're all of a sudden Jerry Rice? Who are you to be coming in here telling these guys
Right.
what they're doing wrong? Number one. Number 2, how does a guy who's at the podium criticizing AVP come in and tell the player not to criticize AVP?
So Keyshawn Booty says, wait, no, Coach, I agree with you. I agree with what you just said. Yeah, he was terrible. Wasn't good.
The 3-11 Patriots making national headlines thanks to their head coach for all the wrong reasons. Got to clean up that mess. Got to move on. Need to move on. Hey, if you like that...
Alright, well, that's going to do it for this video here. Depressing video and everything else, obviously, as a Patriot fan. But, like, hey, I mean, Bertrand's one of the best to be on 98.5 The Sports Hub, man. Like, I can't disagree with him with what he's saying. I mean, I get where he's coming from. I just want to know, as a Patriot fan, when does it get better? I mean, yeah, I get it. Beginning of the year, right here. Another 4-13 record is the probable finish for this year's team. Yes, I predicted this. I understand that. But I expected it to be watchable for the entire season at least. It went from not watchable to watchable to this is a joke again. When does it get better? Is Travis Hunter going to be the answer as to when this is going to get better than an offensive line in the offseason? Is that when it's going to get better? I just hope so. Thank you guys for watching this video here. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe now if you guys new. You guys know what to do. Go check out the website. The link's in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching this video here. It's been your boy Jesse, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.